All right, everyone, ready to dive in? Today, we're tackling prompt engineering.
Oh, yeah, prompt engineering. It's a hot topic.
Definitely buzzing right now. And it's kind of like learning the cheat codes, right? Especially for tools like, well, everyone's favorite, ChatGPT.
Absolutely.
But, and this is key, it's not about being a coding whiz.
No coding required.
It's about mastering the language.
Exactly. Learning how to speak AI so you can get it to, well, do what you want it to do.
Become an AI whisperer, kind of.
Uh-huh. I like that.
No.
An AI whisperer. That's a good one.
So, to guide us on this little adventure, we're turning to an article.
Okay, which one?
It's from the Open API Hub community.
Oh, nice.
It's titled, Elevating AI Outputs with Prompt Engineering. Gets you right.
It is, yeah. Elevating outputs. That's what we're after.
No, one thing that really jumped out at me, there are different styles of prompts.
Oh, yeah, that's fascinating.
It's like, there's a different way to talk depending on who you're with or what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. And the article makes it clear. The right prompt can mean the difference between a so-so answer from the AI and something truly insightful.
Oh, totally. Like night and day.
So before we get into all these styles and tricks, let's back up a sec. What exactly is prompt engineering?
At its core, it's all about instructions, giving the AI clear, super specific instructions. Because if you want a specific result, you got to be specific in what you ask.
It's more than just typing a question into Google then.
Way more. Think of it like, okay, imagine a search query, but instead of just keywords, you're crafting this detailed request.
So you're really guiding the AI toward what you need.
Right, you're giving it the roadmap. And the thing is, prompt engineering is only getting more important.
Why is that?
Well, think about it. AI is everywhere now.
True.
We've got ChatGPT, obviously, image generators like DALL-E, and who knows what's coming next. These tools are powerful, but to unlock that power, you got to speak their language.
The article used a really great analogy to explain this. They talked about a chef in a kitchen.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
If you just yell, "Make me food," you're going to get something.
Exactly. But will it be what you actually want?
Right? Maybe, maybe not.
But if you give the chef a detailed recipe, specific ingredients, instructions, cooking time, all that jazz, then you're way more likely to get that amazing dish you're craving.
So with prompt engineering, you're basically creating the recipe for the AI.
You got it. The blueprint.
Okay, that makes sense. But I'm still curious, what's actually happening behind the scenes when I type a prompt into, say, ChatGPT?
So these AI models, they're trained on a massive amount of data. I mean, we're talking text, code, images, the whole shebang.
Yeah, I've heard about these massive data sets.
It's mind-boggling, really. And all that data, it forms the foundation of the AI's knowledge. But even with all that, it still needs guidance.
And that's where the prompt comes in.
Right. Think of the prompt as a filter. It sifts through all that data, pinpointing what's actually relevant to your specific request. The article really hammered this point home, by the way.
They did. They talked about being clear and specific. The example they used was creating a travel itinerary.
Ah, yes. Classic example.
So if you just tell the AI, create a travel itinerary, well, you might get a pretty generic result.
You might get something for like a random generic vacation spot.
Yeah.
Not helpful.
But if you say, okay, create a 3-day travel itinerary for Paris, focusing on, I don't know, historical sites and maybe some amazing pastry shops.
No, you're talking. That gives the AI something to work with.
The more info, the better the results.
It's like anything else. The more direction you give, the better the outcome.
Okay, now here's where things get really interesting for me. The different techniques. The article talks about zero shot, few shot, chain of thought, even something called react prompting.
It's like having a whole toolkit, right? Yeah. Different approaches for shaping how the AI responds.
Love that. Okay, let's break them down one by one. Starting with zero shot prompting. What in the world is that?
So, zero shot, it's like asking the AI to do something cold. No practice, no specific examples.
Kind of like a pop quiz.
Exactly. Imagine you say, "Hey, AI, translate this phrase into Spanish," but you haven't given it any previous translations to learn from.
So, it's really testing the AI's general knowledge. Can it apply what it knows to a brand new situation?
Right. Sink or swim time for the AI. Now, sometimes you need to give the AI a little more support.
A bit of hand-holding.
Exactly. And that's where few-shot prompting comes in. Instead of just the bare request, you give a few examples.
Show it the ropes a bit.
Right. So instead of just asking for a translation, you might give a couple of English phrases with their Spanish counterparts.
Oh, okay. So it's like, here's how it's done, now you try.
Yeah. Little warm-up exercise for the AI. Then we've got chain of thought prompting. This one gets a little more complex.
Yeah, that one sounds intense.
It's powerful, though. It's all about breaking down a problem into smaller steps. And then you prompt the AI to think through those steps logically.
So if you wanted the AI to analyze a historical event, you wouldn't just say, analyze this.
Note, you might say, first, identify the key people involved. Then, tell me about their motivations. And finally, explain the consequences of what happened.
You're basically walking the AI through the thinking process.
Step by step. And then, the most futuristic sounding one of all, react prompting.
React. That one sounds wild.
This is where the AI doesn't just think about a problem, it actually takes action. Like, it can interact with stuff.
Wait, hold on. Interact. How does an AI do that? Give me an example.
Okay, so imagine you're writing a research paper.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Oh.
Lots of research.
With React prompting, you could ask the AI to not only find relevant sources, but to actually summarize them for you. Pull out key quotes, even generate citations.
Wow. Okay, that's next level. Like having a superpowered research assistant built into the AI.
Right. Now, I know all this might sound like you need to be a coding master.
I was going to say, I'm not sure I have the technical chops for this.
But here's the good news. The most important skills for prompt engineering, they're not technical.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, some coding knowledge can help,
Sure.
but it's not the main thing.
So what are the skills that really matter?
The article highlights 3: linguistic proficiency,
Okay, makes sense.
problem-solving skills,
Check. We all do that every day.
and ethical awareness.
Okay, ethical awareness. That one's interesting. What does that mean when we're talking about AI?
Well, it's about remembering AI is powerful. We got to use it responsibly.
Right.
So thinking critically about the potential impact of your prompts, avoiding anything that could, spread misinformation or cause harm.
Gotcha. So we've got the basics down. We know what prompt engineering is, how it works, kind of, and we know the key skills involved. But how do we actually go from zero to hero here? How do we craft those awesome prompts?
The article lays out a nice, simple structure. They break it down into 4 key components: instruction, context, input data, and examples.
Ooh, I like structure.
Yeah.
Makes things easier. Let's take those one at a time then. Instruction, that seems straightforward enough.
Yeah, it's the heart of the prompt. It's where you tell the AI exactly what you want it to do. Could be a question, a command, a request, whatever. Like you could say, write a haiku about a cat napping in a sunbeam. Or, summarize the key arguments in this philosophical article.
Keep it clear, keep it focused.
Exactly. But then you add context. This is where you give the AI extra info, helps it understand the nuances. Like, think of it as setting the scene for the AI.
Okay, paint the picture a little more.
Right. So for that cat haiku, you might add, imagine a fluffy ginger cat curled up on a windowsill, bathed in warm sunlight.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Now I can really picture it.
And the AI can too. And then you've got input data. This is any extra info that's directly related to the request. Could be text, numbers, a code snippet, even an image.
So if I was asking the AI to analyze a news article, I'd actually give it the article itself.
Exactly. Give it the raw materials to work with. And finally, examples. This is where you show the AI the style or format you're looking for.
Give it a model to work from.
So if you're asking it to write a product description, you might provide a couple of existing descriptions. Show it the tone, the style you want to capture.
Okay, so instruction, context, input data, and examples.
Got it. But how do we know if our prompts are actually good? Like if they're working?
That's the key, and that's where testing and refining comes in.
The article mentioned that, yeah.
Prompt engineering, it's not a one-and-done thing. You got to experiment.
Makes sense.
Try different versions of your prompts, play with the wording, see how the AI responds. It's like an experiment.
I like that. We're scientists in the lab.
Exactly. You have a hypothesis, you test it out, you adjust based on the results. The cool thing about AI is it's a safe space to experiment. No explosions or anything like that.
Unless you ask it to write about explosions, I guess. True. Okay, let's put this all together. Let's say we're working on a marketing campaign for, a new line of plant-based protein shakes.
Sounds healthy.
How could we use prompt engineering to brainstorm some catchy slogans?
Okay, I'm game. Let's hear it.
All right, so our instruction would be something like, generate catchy slogans for a new line of plant-based protein shakes.
Straightforward, but maybe a little broad.
You're right. We need context. We could say, targeting health-conscious individuals seeking a delicious and sustainable protein source.
Ah, okay. So now we're not just talking about any protein shake. We're talking about a specific type of shake for a specific type of person.
Precisely. And we could add, these shakes are made with organic ingredients and are packed with essential nutrients.
Great. Now we're really getting into the details. What about input data? Do we need that here?
We could provide some, like a list of competitor brands, or maybe some popular slogans from the health food industry, just to give the AI a little inspiration.
Prime the pump a bit.
Exactly. And then for examples, we could give it a couple slogans that we really like.
To show the AI, this is the kind of vibe we're going for.
Yeah, maybe something like think different from Apple or just do it from Nike.
Classics.
So putting it all together, our prompt might look like this. Generate catchy slogans for a new line of plant-based protein shakes, targeting health-conscious individuals seeking a delicious and sustainable protein source. These shakes are made with organic ingredients and are packed with essential nutrients. For inspiration, consider slogans like think different from Apple or just do it from Nike.
Wow, okay. That's a mouthful, but it's also pretty impressive. It's clear, it's detailed, and it gives the AI a lot to work with.
Right. But remember, this is just the starting point. The real magic comes when you start testing and refining.
Playing with the wording, adding or removing stuff, experimenting until we get those slogans that really sing.
You got it. Prompt engineering is all about discovery. And with a little practice, anyone can become an AI whisperer.
I love that. This is fascinating stuff. But it feels like we've only scratched the surface. In part 2, let's really get into those different prompting techniques, see how they work with all sorts of AI models, because it's not just about text generation.
Oh, you're right. We've got a whole world of AI to explore. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Welcome back. So we've talked about prompt engineering with text.
Yeah, all about ChatGPT and getting it to write stuff.
Right. But now, time to expand our horizons a bit. Think about other types of AI.
Like what? What else is out there?
Image generation, for one. Those AI tools that can whip up pictures from, well, just words.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Midjourney, right. The one that's making all the crazy art everyone's sharing online.
Exactly. And guess what? Prompt engineering plays a huge role there, too.
Really? So how does that work? Like, do you just type in, create a picture of a cat wearing a hat?
You could. That would be zero-shot prompting, just
Yeah.
giving it a basic description and seeing what happens.
So with Image AI, instead of feeding it text examples, you're giving it, like, a concept,
Yeah.
a starting point.
Yeah. But just like with text, you can get way more specific, more refined results. That's where few-shot prompting comes in.
Okay, so instead of just words, you'd feed the AI actual images.
Exactly. You could give Midjourney, say, a handful of pictures, images that capture the style, the mood you're aiming for.
Almost like a mood board then, but for the AI.
Perfect analogy. You're giving it visual cues to work with.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about those other techniques, like chain of thought? How does that work with pictures?
So imagine you want a really complex image, something detailed with lots going on, maybe a scene from a sci-fi novel.
Okay, yeah, with spaceships and aliens and stuff.
Right. You wouldn't just say create a sci-fi scene. You'd break it down. First prompt, generate a futuristic cityscape, then add flying vehicles, then maybe show a distant planet in the background.
You're guiding the AI through the whole composition process, step by step.
Exactly. It's like giving it instructions for building a world. Now, React prompting with images, that's still pretty cutting edge.
Oh, yeah, that was the one where the AI could actually, like, do stuff, right?
Right. Imagine an AI that could not only create an image based on your prompts, but then, like, suggest different color palettes or rearrange elements based on your feedback.
Wow, that would be insane, like having a design partner built into the AI. Okay, so this is all pretty cool, but I'm not going to lie, it still feels a little intimidating from a, like, technical standpoint.
I get it, but honestly, you don't need to be a coding guru to be good at prompt engineering.
Seriously, because all this talk of AI and models and algorithms, it makes my head spin a little.
I hear you. But remember, the core of it all, it's communication, it's problem solving, it's creative thinking. Those are the real skills.
So if I'm not a coder, but I'm, good with words, good at thinking things through, I can still be a prompt engineer.
Absolutely. Coding can be helpful in some cases, sure, but it's not the make or break factor.
That's reassuring. Okay, so for all of us non-coders out there, what are some practical tips? Like, how do we make our prompts, whether it's for text or images, really effective?
First and foremost, clarity. Be as specific and detailed as possible. The AI thrives on information.
Don't be vague, basically.
Yeah, right. Paint a vivid picture with your words. Use metaphors, analogies, anything that helps the AI understand your vision.
So clear, but also creative.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Play with different versions of your prompts. Try rewording things, see what happens. Sometimes a tiny tweak can make a huge difference.
It's like you're sculpting the language to get the AI to do what you want.
I like that, a linguistic sculptor.
Yeah.
But always, always keep your desired outcome in mind. What are you trying to achieve? What's the goal here?
So before I even start typing, I need to know what I want the AI to help me with.
Yeah.
Whether it's research, writing, creating an image, whatever.
Exactly. And remember, prompt engineering is a process. It's not about getting it perfect on the first try. It's about trying things out, analyzing the results, and refining your approach.
So it's a back and forth, a conversation between you and the AI.
You got it. And through that conversation, you're both learning and evolving.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, this whole idea of being a prompt engineer, it sounds like a job of the future.
It's a skill set that's definitely in high demand. Because as AI gets more sophisticated, more integrated into our lives, the ability to communicate with it effectively, that's going to be gold.
So what's the biggest takeaway for our listeners if they remember one thing about prompt engineering? What should it be?
Don't be scared. It's not about being a tech genius. It's about using language to unlock the power of AI. And the more you practice, the better you'll get at guiding these tools to create amazing things.
This has been mind-blowing. We've seen how prompt engineering works with different AI models and gotten some real-world tips on crafting effective prompts. But now I want to zoom out even further. How is all this shaping the future of work, of creativity, of everything? Let's tackle that in part 3. All right, welcome back. We've covered what prompt engineering is, how it works.
All those techniques, right?
Yeah, and how to actually craft effective prompts. But now I'm curious, what's the big picture here? How's all this AI stuff going to change things?
Big question. And honestly, I think we're just starting to see the impact.
It's exciting, but also it's kind of scary, right? Like, AI is getting so powerful so fast.
It is. But one thing's for sure, it's already shaking things up. Especially when it comes to, well, making stuff. Content creation.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing AI write articles, marketing copy, even movie scripts.
And it's only going to get more sophisticated. But does that mean, like, human creativity is doomed? Are we all out of a job?
Right. Is AI going to replace us all?
I don't think so. I see it more as a partnership. Like, AI can handle the grunt work, the repetitive stuff.
Freeing us up to focus on, like, the big ideas?
Exactly. The stuff that requires that human spark. Think of it like, okay, a painter.
Okay, I'm picturing a painter.
They still need their brushes, their paints, but AI can give them an infinite palette of colors, textures.
Or even generate those first sketches based on the painter's vision.
Right. It's a tool, a powerful one. And it's not just art either. Prompt engineering, it's going to impact every industry.
Yeah, I can see that.
Imagine using AI to analyze data in scientific research, to personalize education for students. Heck, even to help us tackle climate change.
Wow. Okay, that's big. So we're basically talking about AI as a problem-solving partner.
Exactly. It's like having this super intelligent assistant helping us make better decisions, come up with solutions. But gotta be real here, there are some worries too, right?
Yeah, like what about all the talk of AI being used for bad stuff?
Well, yeah, any powerful tool can be misused. One concern is deepfakes, fake news. AI could make it even easier to spread misinformation.
That's a scary thought, especially now when it's so hard to tell what's real and what's not online.
And then there's the job thing. A lot of people are worried AI is going to automate everything, put people out of work.
Yeah, the robots are coming for our jobs.
It's more nuanced than that, I think. Some jobs will change, some might disappear, but new ones will emerge too.
Like, think about the internet. People thought it would kill jobs, but it created a whole new world of opportunities.
Right. It's all about adapting and learning how to work alongside AI, not fear it. And that's where prompt engineering comes in.
Makes sense. The better we understand how to communicate with AI, the better we can shape how it develops.
Exactly. We can guide it toward being a force for good. So we've covered a lot in this deep dive, from the nitty-gritty details of prompt engineering to, like, the potential fate of humanity.
No big deal. But seriously, this has been fascinating.
It has. And I think the most important takeaway is don't be intimidated.
Yeah, I think a lot of people hear AI and they think, that's not for me. Too technical.
But prompt engineering, it's not about being a tech whiz. It's about using language to unlock the power of this incredible technology.
And who knows, maybe some of our listeners will be the ones shaping the future of AI.
I hope so, because the future's not pre-programmed, it's something we create. And that's pretty exciting, if you ask me.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of prompt engineering. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and don't be afraid to experiment.